Welcome to the center of Europe, both geographically and spiritually. A place where medieval streets whisper stories older than many nations, yet modern life flows with a calm, confident rhythm. The Czech Republic, known today also by its short name, Czechia, is a country that doesn't demand your attention with noise or spectacle. Instead, it quietly draws you in one stone bridge, one river, one story at a time. At first glance, Czechia might seem small, a landlocked nation tucked between Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and Poland. But look a little closer, and you begin to understand why this country has played an oversized role in European history for centuries. It sits at a natural crossroads where trade routes met, armies marched, ideas were exchanged, and cultures intertwined. Everything about this country, its people, architecture, traditions, and even its humor, reflects this position as a historical meeting point. For many travelers, the journey begins where the Vltava River bends like a silver ribbon through the heart of the land. Prague, the capital, a city that looks almost unreal, as if drawn by an artist who couldn't decide whether to make it Gothic, Baroque, Renaissance, medieval, or modern, so chose all of them at once. Prague is a rare city where history did not collapse under destruction or modernization. Instead, it survived, layered itself, and formed a living museum that people actually live in, not just visit. But Czechia is not only Prague, it is rolling forests filled with mushrooms and folklore. It is ancient towns, protected by castles perched on hills. It is the quiet countryside where people escape on weekends to breathe, walk, and reconnect with nature. And it is the calm self-confidence of its citizens, shaped by centuries of empire, occupation, revolution, and freedom. To understand Czechia, you must first understand its soul, and that begins with its relationship to place. The country is protected by natural mountain borders, Šumava in the southwest, the Sudetes in the north, and the Carpathian foothills stretching toward Moravia in the east. These mountain chains act like a natural embrace, creating a central basin rich in rivers, fertile soil, and forests so dense they almost feel ancient and mythical. These forests are not just landscapes, they are part of the national identity. Generations grew up wandering them, collecting mushrooms, berries, or simply enjoying the silence that only nature can offer. Czech people have a deep respect for balance. Not too loud, not too quiet, not too fast, not too slow. They love their traditions but embrace modern life. They enjoy going out with friends, but they also treasure their privacy and personal space. Life here is not chaotic. It is steady, predictable in the best possible way. A rhythm that feels comforting, especially to those who come from busy megacities. Visitors often notice the calm, reserved nature of Czechs at first. They may not smile for no reason, they don't shout in public, and they rarely appear rushed. But beneath that quiet surface is a warm, humorous, and open-hearted people. Czech humor is dry, clever, and lightly sarcastic, a reflection of their long history of surviving difficult times through intelligence rather than aggression. Their greatest weapons have always been their wit, their culture, and their ability to adapt. The Czech Republic's modern identity was forged through a remarkable story of survival. For centuries, this land was the proud kingdom of Bohemia, admired throughout Europe for its culture, tolerance, and intellect. Later, it became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. After World War I, the Czechs and Slovaks formed Czechoslovakia, one of the most advanced and democratic nations of its time. But the 20th century brought challenges: occupation during World War II, followed by decades of communist rule. Yet the Czechs resisted not with violence, but with ideas, with music, literature, underground theater, and the persistent voice of the people. In 1989, the Velvet Revolution, a peaceful movement driven by students, artists, and ordinary citizens, brought freedom back to the land. No guns, no destruction, just unity and courage. Today, Czechia stands as a symbol of how a nation can honor its past while embracing the future. It is a member of the EU and NATO, a hub of technology and engineering, and one of the safest countries on Earth. Yet, it retains its authenticity. Its cobblestone streets, preserved towns, hand-carved wooden doors, and ancient churches are not decorations. They are lived in, cared for, and respected. Czech culture is shaped by simplicity and sincerity. The people value honest work, family time, and peaceful living. They do not waste words, but they value good conversations. They are not overly emotional, but they feel deeply. And though their cities are filled with modern cafes, tech offices, and international communities, the heart of Czech life still beats in traditions that go back centuries. One of those traditions is their relationship with beer. Yes, the Czech Republic is known worldwide for its beer, but it is more than a drink here. It is a cultural symbol, a moment of pause in a fast world, a break after work, a conversation between friends, a celebration of small joys. Beer halls are gathering places that keep community life alive, blending all generations into one social space. The Czech philosophy is simple: life is better when shared, and there is always time for a good beer. Another defining trait of Czech culture is education. This country values knowledge almost as much as it values freedom. From medieval universities to modern research centers, Czechia has produced scientists, writers, musicians, and inventors whose work shaped the world. Gregor Mendel discovered genetics here. The word robot was born here. Kafka wrote his timeless works here. This is a land where ideas matter. The Czech Republic's true charm lies in the fact that it doesn't try to impress through extravagance. Instead, it wins your heart through authenticity. It is clean, orderly, welcoming, and peaceful. It offers history without chaos, culture without noise, beauty without exaggeration. In a world of overwhelming travel destinations, Czechia is refreshingly genuine. This first section introduces you to the foundation of Czech identity: its land, its people, its quiet confidence, and its long journey through history. As you move deeper into this script, you will discover the cities, traditions, surprising facts, stories, and moments that make the Czech Republic one of the most captivating countries in Europe. If Czechia is the heart of Europe, then Prague is its brightest pulse, steady, elegant, and timeless. Few cities in the world combine beauty and livability the way Prague does. Some capitals overwhelm you with size, noise, or modernity. Prague does the opposite. It invites you in slowly, revealing its charm, step by step, street by street, bridge by bridge. Prague is often called the city of 100 spires, though in reality it has far more. From above, its skyline looks like an orchestra of rooftops, orange tiles, pointed towers, green domes, and church spires rising in every direction. Yet Prague never feels pretentious or overly decorated. Its beauty is natural, the result of centuries of careful building rather than sudden bursts of construction. At the center of this city flows the river Vltava, the lifeline of Prague. Because the city grew around the river, its layout reflects both practicality and poetry. The Vltava bends and curves gently, passing under bridges that feel like they were drawn from a storybook. Boats glide along the surface, swans gather near the banks, and in the evenings, sunlight reflects off the water like ripples of gold. For locals, the river is more than scenery. It is a constant companion, a familiar presence woven into their daily routine. Most visitors begin exploring on the river's eastern side, where the historic core stands. Here, the streets twist and intersect like threads in a tapestry. Ancient courtyards hide behind archways. Lanterns burn softly at dusk. Small bakeries open early, filling the air with the smell of fresh pastries. This part of Prague is alive with movement, yet never chaotic. Tourists wander with cameras, students sit on benches reading, and locals walk quickly with a sense of purpose. Only city residents truly understand. The districts of Prague, numbered rather than named, each carry a distinct character. Prague 1, the heart of the city, contains Old Town Square, the astronomical clock, Charles Bridge, and a maze of medieval alleys that feel untouched by time. Every building here has a story. Some served merchants during the Middle Ages, others sheltered nobility, scholars, or craftsmen. Today, cafes fill former palaces, bookshops exist inside centuries-old houses, and basements once used for storage now function as quiet wine bars or jazz clubs. A short walk away lies Prague 2, an area blending residential calm with vibrant streets, tree-lined avenues, ornate facades, local pubs with wooden interiors, and beautiful parks offer a glimpse into everyday Czech life. In this part of the city, history feels less like a museum and more like a backdrop to modern living. People walk their dogs in shaded gardens, children play near old fountains, and neighbors greet each other on their way to work. Further west, across the river, is the side many tourists miss, a quieter Prague. This area houses embassies, residential neighborhoods, and green spaces where people jog, cycle, or simply enjoy the fresh air. From here, you get some of the best views of the old town. The rooftops arranged like pieces of a puzzle, the towers and spires rising gracefully, and the river slicing through the city with calm authority. Yet what makes Prague truly special is not only its architecture, it is how the city feels to walk through. There is a softness here, a gentleness in the way people move, speak, and interact with their surroundings. Prague is a capital, but it never tries to act like one. It has the soul of a large village, warm, walkable, and intimately connected to its past. Perhaps the best example of this harmony is the city's transport system. Instead of overwhelming highways or noisy traffic, Prague relies on an elegant network of trams, metros, and buses that glide quietly through the streets. Trams, in particular, are iconic red and white carriages that pass through neighborhoods like clockwork. They feel both nostalgic and modern at the same time, connecting every district with impressive reliability. During mornings, you'll see students carrying backpacks, office workers reading newspapers, and elderly locals chatting softly as the city rolls by their windows. The metro system is simple, efficient, and designed with clarity. Its stations are clean and symmetrical, many decorated with futuristic metal patterns dating back to the late 20th century. Despite being a major capital, Prague's public transport rarely feels overwhelming. The rhythm is steady, trains arrive frequently, yet crowds remain manageable. For many residents, using a car is unnecessary. The city encourages walking, and with its scenery, most people prefer it. Walking is truly the best way to understand Prague. When you explore slowly, the details reveal themselves. The texture of cobblestones beneath your feet, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee escaping from small cafes, the echo of church bells at the top of the hour, and the way sunlight hits the narrow streets in the early morning. In Prague, beauty lives in the little things: flower boxes on balconies, carefully restored wooden doors, and the sound of water flowing near the riverbanks. But Prague is not only a city of calm elegance, it is also a place of deep contrasts. The nightlife is lively, with music clubs, riverside bars, and jazz basements hidden beneath old buildings. The city attracts young travelers, artists, musicians, and students, giving it an energetic undercurrent beneath its historical exterior. Modern restaurants serve creative dishes alongside traditional Czech cuisine. Technology hubs and startups coexist with antique shops and classical theaters. This blending of the old and the new gives Prague its unique pulse. The people of Prague play a crucial role in shaping its character. Locals dress neatly but casually, favoring comfort with a touch of style. They appreciate good manners, personal space, and calm behavior. They rarely show strong emotions in public, yet they are friendly when spoken to. Czechs are often described as warm once you know them. They may seem reserved at first, but beneath the surface lies a community that values humor, honesty, and thoughtful conversation. Another distinctive part of Prague's identity is its cleanliness and safety. Streets are well maintained, public spaces are cared for, and parks are beautifully kept. Even at night, many areas feel secure, with families strolling along the river and couples sitting on benches sharing quiet moments. The sense of order reflects the Czech cultural mindset. Life works best when things are organized, respectful, and balanced. Of course, Prague is not without its modern challenges: tourism crowds, rising rent prices, and busy seasons that can test the city's calm atmosphere. But even during peak travel months, Prague manages to preserve its dignity. It never loses its charm. It simply adjusts, breathing in and out with the flow of visitors. There is also an emotional element to Prague that is hard to describe, but easy to feel. It is a city that carries history not as a burden, but as a gentle presence. You sense it when you stand on Charles Bridge at sunrise, when the river reflects the soft pink light of dawn, and the city holds its breath before the day begins. You sense it in Old Town Square, where the buildings seem to watch you with quiet wisdom. You feel it in Prague Castle, the largest castle complex in the world, where centuries of kings, emperors, and presidents shaped the nation's story. Prague is a city that has endured wars, revolutions, floods, and political shifts, but it never broke. It remained whole, resilient, and beautiful. That resilience is visible everywhere, in the stone steps, polished by millions of footsteps, in the towers that survived centuries of conflict, in the calm eyes of its residents, who have seen their city rise again and again. This is Prague, a place where every walk becomes a lesson, every corner holds a secret, and every day feels like a blend of past and present. A city that asks you to slow down, look closely, and breathe in the atmosphere that only Prague can offer. To understand any country, you must first understand its people. And, in the Czech Republic, the people are a fascinating combination of resilience, intellect, independence, and quiet humor. They don't shout for attention, they don't dramatize emotions, and they never rush without reason. Yet beneath their calm exterior lies one of Europe's most unique cultural identities. The Czech people have been shaped by a long history of occupation, liberation, empire, revolution, and reinvention. This has given them a personality unlike any other nation: balanced, observant, self-aware, and gently rebellious. A culture rooted in balance. The Czech approach to life can be described by a simple phrase: everything in moderation. Czechs avoid extremes. They prefer a stable, predictable rhythm. They don't obsess over being the best or showing off. Instead, they look for comfort, practicality, and authentic experiences. This attitude is visible everywhere, from how they dress to how they spend their weekends. Czech fashion tends to be comfortable, understated, stylish, without showing off. Locals rarely wear flashy clothes or expensive logos. Instead, they favor clean designs, neutral colors, and layers suited to the unpredictable Central European weather. On the streets of Prague, you'll see people moving confidently, yet lightly, blending into a city that values harmony over spectacle. Czechs also cherish personal space. They don't rush into hugs, loud greetings, or dramatic gestures. At first, this may seem like distance, but it's simply their cultural style. Once they warm up to you, their friendship becomes genuine and steady. The Czech sense of humor. One of the most underrated aspects of Czech culture is its humor. Czechs have survived centuries of political turmoil, not just through strength, but through wit. Their humor is dry, clever, sarcastic, subtle, and often self-deprecating. A Czech joke rarely announces itself. It arrives quietly, with a straight face, leaving you wondering for a moment whether they were serious. This humor played a major role during difficult historical periods when Czech citizens used comedy, theater, and writing to express criticism without direct confrontation. In short, the Czech Republic laughs softly, but thinks loudly. Education, a deep cultural value. The Czechs have long been one of Europe's most educated nations. This emphasis on knowledge is not recent, it dates back centuries. Prague was home to Charles University, founded in 1348, one of Europe's oldest universities. Since then, education has remained a cornerstone of the Czech identity. Even today, reading is a beloved national hobby. You'll often see people with books in parks, at tram stops, or on the metro. Education is not viewed as a privilege, it is expected. Most adults have completed secondary education, and many pursue higher studies. The country invests heavily in research, science, and the arts. Czech achievements include Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics; Otto Wichterle, inventor of the soft contact lens; Karel Čapek, who introduced the word robot; Franz Kafka, one of the most influential writers in history. These contributions shaped not only Czech culture, but global knowledge and literature. Freedom in everyday life. Czechs deeply value personal freedom. It's one of the strongest pillars of their modern society. This sense of freedom shows itself in many ways. People dress however they want. Public expressions of individuality are welcomed. Artistic creativity is respected. Lifestyle choices are considered personal, not judged. A person with colorful hair, visible tattoos, or an unusual outfit will rarely attract attention. Czechs have learned through history that life is easier when people simply let others live as they like. This attitude also explains why Czech nightlife feels so safe and relaxed. People go out to enjoy themselves, not to seek conflict or make a scene. Even in busy areas, the atmosphere remains respectful. Religion, a quiet landscape of belief. One of the most unique cultural features of the Czech Republic is its high level of secularism. Unlike many European countries, where religion still shapes public life, Czechia is known for its individual approach to belief. Most Czechs are non-religious, agnostic, spiritual but not affiliated. However, this does not mean they reject religion aggressively. Czechs simply treat faith as a personal matter. They do not discuss it unless asked, and they rarely bring it into public or political life. This is partly due to history. During the communist era, religion was discouraged. Over time, society shifted towards secularism. Today, churches are admired for their beauty and cultural value, but they are not central to daily life. The result is a society that accepts differences easily. A religious visitor will feel respected. A non-religious visitor will feel comfortable. Czech culture values coexistence, not debate. Work, lifestyle, and practical mindset. Czech work culture is grounded in practicality. People work hard, but they don't glorify exhaustion. Life is not meant to be a race, it is meant to be lived. Czechs enjoy long walks, weekend trips to nature, family gatherings, quiet evenings at local pubs, simple home-cooked meals. They do not chase extreme wealth. Instead, they value comfort, stability, and realistic expectations. A good job, a cozy apartment, a supportive community, and time for hobbies are seen as success. Modern Czech life blends tradition with convenience. Even in Prague, which is filled with students, entrepreneurs, expats, and tourists, the overall atmosphere remains steady. Cafes, workplaces, and public spaces encourage calm environments where people can focus and enjoy life without disruption. Respect for nature. In Czech culture, nature is not a distant escape. It is part of everyday life. Forests surround cities, villages sit beside rolling hills, and rivers flow through historic towns. Czechs grow up visiting nature regularly. Popular activities include hiking, mushroom picking, cycling, weekend cabin trips, swimming in lakes, forest picnics, The tradition of mushroom picking is particularly strong. Entire families take baskets into the woods during autumn, searching for edible mushrooms they have been taught to recognize since childhood. This is not just a hobby. It's a cultural ritual that carries a sense of patience and connection to the land. A calm, safe, and orderly society. Visitors often mention three things about Czechia. It feels extremely safe. It is very clean. People follow rules naturally. This reflects a national preference for order and responsibility. Streets are tidy, public transport is respected, and even large gatherings tend to remain peaceful. Crime rates are low. Families walk freely at night. Tourists feel comfortable exploring without worry. This stability comes from a culture that values harmony. Czechs dislike unnecessary conflict, and they resolve problems with thought rather than aggression. It is a country built on logic, not chaos.